Hi, my name is Kelly and my company is Water Becomes a Garden, and I'm here to talk to you about Lotus today. As a grower, every year we have to dump our pots, collect our tubers so that we have something to sell. This one doesn't have any water in it, and I'm actually 3 weeks later than I would like to do, but in Maryland this year it's done just about nothing but rain. And when it's not raining, it's been windy and cold. So when we pull these out of the water, this is about what they look like. This one is showing some signs of growth. The reason I like to do it earlier is because these are still asleep. The more of these you break, the more you lower your success rate becomes. In general, it's just good to have as many unbroken tips as possible. Earlier, before these have started to grow, you have no risk of breaking them off. We keep our tags in upside down. If the sunlight is exposed to them, they'll grow a lot of algae, and then you can't read your tag anymore. So if you can protect that from the sunlight, then it's down there in the pot, and when you need to know what it is, then you can still read your label. For those of you who want to keep track of what you're growing. This is a leaf I just broke off. Lotus emits a sap, a milky sap. That tells you that that one's definitely alive. It's also how they make thread for fabric. Stems are cut and they're pulled, and then this very strong, once it dries, it becomes very strong thread is used to weave fabric. So moving on, to harvest your lotus, what we do is, I have a new leaf here, a new leaf here, a new leaf here, here, and here. I don't see anything on this side, so I can safely tip without breaking anything over that way. And all new lotus tubers congregate on the bottom of the pot. So in small containers like this, it's pretty easy to manage. You can take a pair of scissors and cut away things, roots that may be entangled in new growth. Anything that's black, old, or squishy, we like the word squishy, you can remove. And then you start to gently untangle them. You can see here is new leaves that are emergent. They pulled right out of the soil. Once they open, that becomes increasingly difficult to do. And you want to follow this back. This is old, and it's not going to produce anything, so we can cut that away to expose a cutting point. And this is a very good, healthy, very healthy tuber for transplanting for the next growing season. There are more. This is such a beautiful one. That's what I would use for shipping. Anything that gets broken or damaged, as a grower, we'll use those for potting so that we assume the risk, not you. This is a large variety that's been in this pot for far too long, so it's not as productive as it would be. And actually, I don't even think that there's anything on here. People often ask, how do you know? You can see this little tip right here. This is a protective covering, and that's white in there. No, not white by my hands, but this is going to produce a new leaf right here. So I will cut this, take off anything that isn't really necessary. This is not going to produce. There's no tips, no firm growth points coming up there. This one's old because see, it's squishy and soft and mushy. There's no growth tips. This is last year's. This would be a flower stem and a leaf stem, and they'll cohabitate at the same joint. So all of that becomes garbage. This can be potted. Some people ask, can you cut this and make more plants? You can. I prefer to sell the whole thing. Every time that you cut some of these main banana tubers, you're allowing access for bacteria and fungus to get in there and create rot through all the little tunnels. So some people plant them by putting your tuber in and leaving this above water level. That'll protect access to the water to get in there to cause damage or rot to the plant that's starting to grow in there. So you can cut them. If I were going to pot them myself and I need to build numbers, I might, but it isn't necessary. So I have one, which is what we call an A tuber, and a probably C tuber. So C's we usually plant 2 to a pot. And then the rest of this is all last year's growth. There's nothing in here alive. None of this is of value. All of this is trash. You're just gonna put fresh soil into this pot, about 2 inches deep. Plant your tuber and let it go. And as it grows, new growth is gonna push old growth up. As new growth forms on the bottom, that's why the tubers are always underneath. That's all for now. Thanks and have a great day.